evening, you are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate joins the international community to celebrate the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. The COVID-19 pandemic fatalities worldwide exceed 4.2 million people. And fire crews in Turkey and Lebanon continue to fight blazes that burn down homes and forced evacuations. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. The Sultanate of Oman joins the global community in celebrating the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, which is held on the 30th of July every year. Legal protection extends to residents and citizens alike, irrespective of their origin, nationality, gender, or religion, as per the basic statute of the State of Labor, the Labor Law, the Law on Combating Trafficking in Persons, and other relevant laws and regulations. In the global struggle against trafficking in persons, the Sultanate joined many key international instruments and bilateral treaties, including the UN Convention Against Transitional Organized Crime and the Protocol to Prevent, Suppress, and Punish Trafficking in Persons. At the national level, the Sultanate has made tangible and steady efforts to combat trafficking in persons. The contributions include the establishments of the National Committee to Combat Human Trafficking, introducing severe penalties against traffickers, the provision of care and protection to the victims, and dedicating extensive awareness campaigns such as Ihsan and Insan campaigns, focusing on relevant issues such as detection of potential victims, legal protection in places, and the roles of different authorities in the country to combat trafficking in persons. The Ministry of Labor conducted interviews and online examinations for Omani job seekers in Al-Dakhiliya Governorate to select candidates for 96 vacancies in various public institutions within the Governorate. More details in the following report.
In continuation of the national efforts exerted to employ the Omani youth, the Ministry of Labor conducted interviews and online examinations for job seekers in Al-Dakhiliya Governorate.
Following the preventive measures, the candidates were given the exam electronically, which included 30 questions to be completed in 30 minutes. In the exam, the candidates were given two help choices: change a question and delete an answer. Once any candidate completes the exam, the result will be shown immediately on his or her screen. When all candidates finish, the system will show the overall results to all candidates, and according to the vacancy, the top scoring candidate will be selected. The exam went smoothly, and we wish them all the best.
467 job applicants from the Governorate of Al-Dakhiliya competed for 96 vacancies in various public institutions within the Governorate.
The competition was tough. Since I received the message from the Ministry of Labor, I started preparing myself for the exam. I focused on my major and related information. Now that I came the first for the job, I will use my qualification to serve my country.
I am very happy to get this job. It means a lot to me, and I will work hard to use my skills and knowledge for this job, and also to help our society.
It is worth mentioning that the vacant positions were announced to the job seekers in the middle of last June, and the employment process is administered through the central recruitment system. These employment initiatives reflect the special attention attached to the Omani youth and their significant role in the national sustainable development. صالح بن خلفان الرحبي، ولاية of Nizwa, الداخلية Governorate.
The Oman oil price September 2021 delivery reached $74 and 3 cents per barrel. According to Dubai Mercantile Exchange, Oman oil price rose by 60 cents. The average price of Oman oil August 2021 delivery reached $71.66 per barrel. The novel coronavirus has killed more than 4.2 million people since the outbreak emerged in China in December 2019. At least 196.6 million cases of coronavirus have been registered. Yesterday, 10,191 new deaths and 642,547 new cases were recorded worldwide. The United States is the worst affected country with 612,122 deaths. After the US, the hardest hit countries are Brazil with 554,497 deaths, India 423,217, Mexico 239,997, and Peru with 196,214 deaths. Europe recorded more than 1.2 million deaths, Asia 664,785, Africa 168,583, and the Middle East 159,597 deaths. Japan said today it will expand states of emergency to 3 prefectures near Olympic host Tokyo and the western prefectures of Osaka as COVID-19 cases spike in the capital and around the country, overshadowing the Summer Games. Tokyo, already under its 4th state of emergency since the pandemic began, announced 3,300 new daily cases after a record of 3,865 yesterday. Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga told the news conference that the virus is spreading at an unprecedented speed largely because of the Delta variant, adding he's worried the country's hospital beds could become stretched. Already, 64% of Tokyo's hospital beds available for serious COVID-19 cases are filled as of midweek. The new emergency measures will be in effect from August 2nd to the 31st, while existing states of emergency for Tokyo and southern Okinawa Island will be extended to August 31st, covering 37% of the country's population. India reported 44,230 new COVID-19 cases today, the most in 3 weeks. The latest evidence of a worrying trend of rising cases that has forced one state to lock down amid fears of another wave of infections. India was battered by the Delta variant of the virus in April and May, but the rate of spread of infections later eased off. It has again been rising with higher numbers in 7 of the past 8 days. The nationwide tally of infections has reached 31.57 million. Deaths rose to 555 overnight, taking the overall toll to 423,217. Medical experts said a 3rd wave of coronavirus infections was likely to hit India by October, though it would be better controlled than the devastating April-May outbreak. The southern state of Kerala announced a new lockdown yesterday, while movement restrictions are in place in some northeastern states reporting a rise in infections rates. Other places, including the capital New Delhi, have recently reopened most economic activities. The UN's Children's Fund, UNICEF, said today that more than 100,000 children in Tigray, Ethiopia, could suffer from life-threatening severe acute malnutrition in the next 12 months, a tenfold jump over average annual levels. The UNICEF spokeswoman Marixi Mercado, speaking after returning from Tigray, told a UN briefing in Geneva that pregnant and breastfeeding women were acutely malnourished. Meanwhile, UN spokesman Jens Larke said that the United Nations needs satellite phones and other critical communications equipment for its operation in Tigray, urging the Ethiopian government to grant permission. Still to come on News Bulletin. The world's tallest sand castle is unveiled in Denmark. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Lebanon battled rapidly spreading wildfires for a third straight day today after they destroyed pine forests and threatened homes in northern areas. The blaze that started Wednesday in Lebanon's remote Akkar region is spreading quickly over large areas. The blaze, which has killed a 15-year-old volunteer firefighter and forced many people from their homes, gained pace overnight. The army deployed 2 helicopters today to help douse the flames, and more local volunteers joined the firefighting efforts. The government's failure to contain the devastating wildfires in October 2019 was one of the triggers of the unprecedented nationwide protest movement against the perceived official incompetence and corruption. Turkish fire crews are continuing to fight blazes in southern Turkey that burned down homes and forced evacuations. The death toll in the wildfires has risen to 4. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said today firefighters were still tracking wildfires in 14 locations. A total of 57 blazes that have broken out since Wednesday amid strong winds and scorching heat were brought under control. The worst fires were in the Mangavat region, where 3 people died. A volunteer taking drinking water to the firefighters perished in another fire late yesterday. Monsoon, floods, and landslides have cut off more than 300,000 people in villages across southeast Bangladesh and killed at least 20 people, including 6 Rohingya refugees. The region along the Bangladesh-Myanmar border, where nearly 1 million Rohingya refugees from Myanmar are in camps, has been battered by the torrential rain since Monday. The floods have stranded some 306,000 people in Cox's Bazar district. At least 70 villages have been submerged by floods. Earlier this week, Bangladesh evacuated 10,000 Rohingya from around the refugee camps in Cox's Bazar because of the storms. Aid workers said a coronavirus lockdown in the camps following a major spike in cases has affected rescue work as access is restricted. At a height of 21.16 meters, 3.5 meters higher than the previous record holder, the world's new tallest sand castle was unveiled in Denmark last week. Here's a report.
The sand castle built in Blokhus in northwest Denmark broke the Guinness World Record on July 2, previously held by a sandcastle made in Germany in 2019, which was 17.66 meters. Dutch designer Wilfred Stigger said the corona pandemic had inspired the sand castle.
We started with Corona on top, And we give it a crown because Corona means crown. It's like nice and double. But we give it also a crown because it's ruling. It's ruling our lives everywhere. It tells you what to do. It tells you to wear a mouth protection. It tells you to, to stay away from your family and not go to the nice places. Don't do the activities. Stay home. It's 2116 meters, and it's 3 meters higher than the previous one.
At the top of the castle, he put a coronavirus bacteria as a crown to illustrate how the virus is ruling our world and not allowing us to do what we want to do. Like many other big sandcastles, it's made as a triangle in order not to collapse, and a wooden construction was erected around it so that the around 30 artists could cut the figures in the sand. Around 4.8 tons of sand were used to build the sandcastle. The sand is made up of 10% clay for it to stick better, and when the sandcastle is done, an extra layer of glue is put on to make it last through most of winter.
I'm amazed, but I'm always amazed when the sculptors are making the sand sculptures. But this year it's amazing. It's very, very, very beautiful artwork you've never seen before.
Beyond beautiful, it looks like a piece of architecture from Rome, something from the medieval ages, and I'm just impressed, just to say the least. Very impressed.
The Guinness World Record was measured by an authorized surveyor and signed by witnesses and will be in the book's next edition. The Sand Sculpture Festival in Blocus takes place every summer.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate joins the international community to celebrate the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. The COVID-19 pandemic fatalities worldwide exceed 4.2 million people. And fire crews in Turkey and Lebanon continue to fight blazes that burn down homes and forced evacuations. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios is good night and stay safe.